Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dian Nurafni Hasman and my registration number is A1M218069. Okay, on this video I want to tell you about the importance of language preservation, Indonesian language, and simple efforts for language preservation, the regional language Indonesia. Indonesian is necessary and very must be maintained because Indonesian is the official language of the Republic of Indonesia and is also the language of unity in Indonesia itself. We can imagine how a country is independent but doesn't have its own language. It is certain that communication in this country will be very messy. For example, if Indonesia doesn't have Indonesian to communicate every day, whereas in Indonesia itself there are many cultural tribes who have their own language, then communication between tribes or region will certainly not run smoothly. Besides, the government will not run smoothly, the economy is in chaos, and the slogan of the Indonesian state is gripped by the Garuda bird as the symbol of the Indonesian state, namely Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, with different meanings but still one that will not exist because of the unifying elements of the Indonesian state is Indonesian. Before we discuss other languages that can affect the maintenance of the Indonesian language, let's first pay attention to the current phenomenon, namely the use of slang, especially among millennial youth. Without contradicting the current reality, that slang has become a competitor to Indonesian, causing several negative impacts, including the decline in degree of Indonesian. Teenagers prefer to use slang as an everyday language, so that the Indonesian language is increasingly faded, even considered ancient in the eyes of teenagers, and also causes a decline in the degree of Indonesian. Furthermore, the use of slang can make it difficult to use Indonesian properly and correctly. Even though at school or at work, we are required to always use good and correct Indonesian because slang doesn't enter into academic language structure. And the last one is to become one of the causes of the extension of the Indonesian language, because the use of slang, which is increasingly prevalent among adolescents, is a very serious threat to the Indonesian language and a sign of the deteriorating language skills of the younger generation today. So it cannot be denied that one day the Indonesian language will disappear because it is displaced by slang in the future. Okay. In addition, the use of Indonesian in remote areas of Indonesia also needs attention because there are still some parts of the community who don't really understand Indonesian and are even illiterate, especially for elderly adults. Of course, as said by Director General of PAUD for Basic Education and Intermediate Education, or Dirjen PAUD, Dikdasman, Ministry of Education and Culture, or Kemendikbud Jumeri, state that there are 6 districts or cities that dominate illiterate communities in Indonesia, namely in Papua 21.9%, NTB 7.46%, NTT 4.24%, South Sulawesi there 4.22%, West Sulawesi 3.98%, and West Kalimantan 3.81%. According to him, this area needs serious attention so that it can alleviate illiteracy that hinders literacy development in the country. The last one is a foreign language, namely English. English is an international language with a wide range of usage. The use of foreign languages or English is becoming increasingly common. However, this symptom should not be ignored because it is detrimental to the growth and development of the Indonesian language. Foreign languages have a positive and negative impact on Indonesia. The positive impact, the Indonesian people can smoothly follow international development, and the negative impact, Indonesian will gradually be displaced by English. Therefore, Indonesian language must continue to exist and be a tool of national pride and must remain sovereign in its own country. For this reason, the positive attitude of the Indonesian people must be encouraged to remain loyal to their national language. Okay. The next, simple efforts for language preservation or language maintenance, in regional language in Indonesia. For Indonesian, we turn to regional language, which are also very important to be preserved because they are a hereditary heritage from our ancestors, which is one of the proud riches of the Indonesian nation. So some simple efforts that we can do as the young millennial generation, such as first, form a local language learning community. Young people who have the ability to master certain regional languages can hook people with the same abilities to collaborate to form a community as a forum for learning local languages. Second, the enthusiasm to want to learn local languages. Real action is needed to strengthen the determination so that regional languages remain the superior language of communication in the midst of globalization. The main way that can be done is to directly learn the local language yourself. If you put a strong enthusiasm for learning local languages, it will be easier to preserve them. And the third, creating works or writing using local languages. If you are interested in the word of writing, you can develop your interest by writing in local language. What's more, if you can write in local languages that carry the same local cultural themes, of course, this can be a balance that makes regional language popular again, along with the cultural values contained therein. Okay, fourth, make video tutorials to learn local languages. We can make creative videos to teach local language tutorials and share them on social media. So preserving local languages is no longer a difficult thing. In fact, it could be easier with the current technological developments. Okay, the last, familiarize yourself with the local language in daily interactions. We can speak if we are used to speaking it. Let's try to apply and practice local language skills in daily chat, socializing with friends, or in the school environment. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for your great attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.